6 video series. What a beautiful day it is. Today we're talking about Yoda. What is distinct and different about Yoda? I'm going to tell you a story of when I first started consulting. So when I first started consulting, this was over 25 years ago. And one of the executive director of the organization in which I was consulting to, he said, "You know, Kiana, you're different." And I know I'm different. I know what I do is different. He said, "You're weird." I was like, "Oh, okay. Can you say more?" And he's like, "You know, you're like Yoda. You know, I come to you, I have a problem, and I get wisdom, insight that it's Yoda-esque." And I thought, oh, okay. Well, at the time, I still have never watched Star Wars. Of course, I'm familiar with the term Yoda and what Yoda is. But what is Yoda really, besides a wise one? Not having watched the movie, I can ascertain that he looks different and accesses wisdom and insight and information. But what really is Yoda doing, and what is he embodying? Well, Yoda is the embodiment of acceptance and alignment and non-judgment. And Yoda's different. And what does it take to be like a Yoda, to be different? To be different requires that you do those things of yourself, that you accept yourself, that you are in non-judgment of yourself, and that you are continuously working to be in alignment. So, this concept and this idea of being different requires that you be more authentically aligned to yourself. And, if you don't know who you are, then it's really difficult to be in acceptance. If you are somebody who does not accept yourself, you're not going to be accessing the information and wisdom that something like a Yoda would. If you are in judgment of yourself, you're going to cut off access to divine intelligence. If you are in judgment of others, you're going to perceive others through your judgments, which is going to be a distortion. So really, what I wanted to talk about today is about being different and how to, that it's okay to be different. Like that being different and being unique is you accessing your authenticity. And a lot of times people are talking about being authentic, but they want to be like everybody else. They want to go with the crowd. And that's just not how it works. I am an expert at being different. I have been different since I was a little girl, and I have been okay with being different. And that might mean that I don't like to do what all the other kids did. I never have liked little things, that cartoons that people watched. I never watched them. The kids, I remember in elementary school going to school, and all the kids were talking about, Bugs Bunny and all these different cartoons that they liked, and I never liked fake. I just never would watch it. And even to this day, I've never been into animations, even though it's quite creative. It's not something that I have ever been attuned to. So being different requires that you accept yourself in a way that other people who do what the masses do you're not going to do what the masses do. You may not be in agreement with them, but that's okay. It's okay to be in disagreement with the masses. It's okay to not have people who think like you. In fact, it's important to be around people who think differently than you. Um, uh, a lot of people are not comfortable, and my brother, I will just speak honestly, my brother is one of those people who, if you don't believe like he believes, well, then he thinks that he cannot be friends or in communication with you. And that's just such a closed way of looking at people and about life and about possibilities. And I think it's so important that when we're talking about being different, you definitely want to look at closed systems and a way of thinking, because closed systems, and you just think, oh, I'm just closed to this way, like I'm just closed to animation, let's just say, and that is blocking off all the other kinds of animation that might be interesting or productive or whatever. So it's not that I hate animation or that I won't watch it. I just won't watch cartoons because that's not like my thing. But there are some people that really like anime and the creativity around it, and that's being open. So when I'm talking about systems of thinking, you want to make sure that you have open mind. A closed system or a closed mind or rigid thinking is going to drip into every organ and every cell of your body, and it will cause closed systems within your body. So your thinking just isn't about your thinking. That's why people talk about positive thinking. But there's no sense in talking about positive thinking if you don't understand how that thinking impacts your entire way of being. So to embrace being different means that you're not a people pleaser, that not everybody's going to be happy, and that's okay. Your job is not to make everybody be happy. Your job is not to make everybody be comfortable. Your job is not to understand everybody's illogical, delusional thinking. I mean, it's not to understand. You're not listening to understand. You're listening to hold space. And I think that's the distinction that I'm trying to get across today. That when you are willing to be different and be like Yoda, that means you're going to access different ways of being that most people will never understand. And you need to be okay with being not understood. You need to be okay with being in alignment, knowing that that alignment that you're within, it is not going to resonate with other people. Because it doesn't resonate with the masses. If you are somebody who is critical thinking and you have your own thoughts and you are willing to love yourself unconditionally, be kind to others regardless of what they say or do, that's different. That's a Yoda like. That's like accessing different waves of intelligence that most people close off because it's different. If you are going to be different, it means that you will be your authentic self without reservation of what you think other people are thinking. So, long story short is that Yoda doesn't care what other people think, because what other people think is too small for his embodiment. You understand? Your authentic self is bigger than what other people think. So when you are willing to be different, you understand that it doesn't resonate with everybody. And so I wanted to give you a couple things that would be helpful for you, for those of you who are new to being different and who are new to stepping out from like the crowd, which is okay, which is sometimes people think they have to say no. But what you can say is, you know what? this doesn't resonate with me. And what saying this doesn't resonate with me means is that other people that don't know what that means won't question it. More often than not, 90% of the time, when you say, no, this doesn't resonate with me, they're not going to understand what you're saying. And because they don't understand, they're not going to ask, why doesn't this resonate with you? And it's okay for you to say, this doesn't resonate with me because. Anyways, I thought that would be a great way for you to step into your authentic self through being different, being more like Yoda. And so when that executive said that I was weird or that I was like Yoda, I didn't get offended. You know, I was not attached. And this is the other thing. When you are accepting of being different, there's no attachment to what other people think of you. You do not need people to like you. You don't need them to understand you. There's then the attachment of other people's thoughts goes away completely. So then who would you be if you didn't care what anybody else thought? You'd be authentically yourself, right? And isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a great expression of the self, to be fully aligned within yourself? So that's how you do that. So I'm just going to look to see if there's any questions here. We are talking about being different, Kayla. Personal growth. Yes, being different is all about personal growth. My mom used to ask me, if everyone jumped off a bridge, would you go with them? That's an analogy, which is a good analogy. You know, if your mom is giving you that analogy, she's essentially saying, you know, what is it going to take for you to align to your own wisdom? You know, it takes a lot of courage, and courage comes from a strength of the heart to be different. You know, I really, as a kid, I didn't know another way. Like, I always was different. I didn't resonate with the popular kids. I didn't like what they were doing. Like, I didn't need that kind of attention. And I think a lot of people who are the popular ones, or the most liked people, they focus a lot of their attention on getting the thumbs up, or getting a lot of people to look at them, or getting a lot of attention. And when you're different, you know, those things aren't as important to you, you know. And I think it's important, when you know what you truly are aligned to and what you value, being like everybody else means that you're going to make decisions that don't make other people happy, and you have to be okay with that. So there's that. Anyways, so your mom gave you good direction. Good for you for having a mother that that encouraged you to be your authentic self, and to be independent, and to think independently, and to not go along with what the masses are doing. In fact, if the masses are doing one thing, to me, that's a red flag of what is going on here. What are they all missing? I don't think I'm missing out. I think they're not getting something, you know, and there's a lot of energy, and I don't want to go into exactly what that is here, because it's very polarizing. But there's a lot of people that haven't learned to question narratives, because they're not in alignment with themselves for no other reason. And that doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that there's a weakness within them that has not been developed. And that weakness is lacking inner strength. And when we lack inner strength, and that means inner strength means connection. When we lack that, we also lack courage. And courage only comes when you're in connection to your heart. It never comes from doing what other people are doing. In fact, most people regret doing what people told them to do, because they'll say, I did not follow my instincts. And then they go into regret, right? Okay, what else do we have here? Any other questions here? Okay. Um, so if you have somebody or a group of people who say you're weird or different, what you want to get to is a place of neutrality. And and when I said I don't care what other people think, I mean I really am just not attached. That's neutrality. I don't care is almost a little bit of a disconnection, but it means that I'm not invested in other people liking me in order for me to be my most authentic self. And so I think it's really important for you to understand that for you to align to your best self, you're going to have a connection to your heart. Because that's where all the multi-dimensional connections that Yoda was connected to will come through, is through the heart space, because the heart space is a portal. So with that, I would say if something doesn't resonate, ask more questions within. If you're having doubt, go within. The doubt is always going to be an invitation for you to go within. And accept yourself. Ask yourself, what is it that I need to do, be, or experience that will allow me to accept myself more, totally, fully, and completely? Ask yourself, and then see what answers you get with that question. Another question you can ask is, am I willing to accept others totally, completely, and fully, even if they don't agree with what I think or what I'm doing and what I'm feeling? Can I accept them? All right. A couple things to help you along the way. Thank you so much for joining. I am Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. I hope you found this helpful. Go find your own Yoda within you. Bye.